It was an early morning in Manhattan. Ruby Glow was about to go to work when she called out her boyfriend, Feathernote. I'm heading to work now. I'll see you later in the evening. Yeah, see you then. Ruby Glow and her boyfriend, Feathernote, have been together for 3 years and have been living together for 2 years. Ruby works at a local ice cream shop, while her boyfriend works as a middle school teacher. Ruby and Feathernote actually ran into each other when she was working at the ice cream shop. After about a couple of weeks, he actually asked her out on a date, which she said yes. Ever since then, she had an amazing boyfriend who would who treats her with kindness, respect, and even gives her flowers or even some candy when she's feeling down or sick or something. He has been treating her such kindness, and even all their friends actually likes him. He is like that they call as Prince Charming. But all this will actually just all happen by random chance. Even though that Ruby herself was very happy to have met Feathernote after all that. But after this date, when she came home in the evening, she finds Feathernote sitting in the kitchen table, having something on his mind. Hey, how was work? She asked. Oh, the same thing, teachings and all that, he said with a smile. How was your work? You know, busy all day, customers all day. There is something I wanted to talk to you, said Ferdinand. Oh, what is it? Um, it's better to sit you if you sit down. Okay, what is it? Um, the principal actually had asked me to come to his office. Oh, in something bad happened? No, complete opposite actually. You see, the principal offered me a promotion. A promotion? What? Are you serious? Yes. He said that since I have been a such hard-working teacher and all the students love my work and they love my teachings, he said there was an open as a high school teacher, and as he said if I take the offer, I was like, this is unbelievable. But but that's great. Yes, but there is a catch. What catch would that be? If I accept the offer, I would have been transferred to Trondheim High School. Trondheim? But isn't that like 4 hours away from here? Yes, it is. But have you accepted the offer though? Not right away. I told the principal that I need some time to think, and of course I had to ask my girlfriend for what she thinks about this idea, and I will tell him right the next day. Since he told me that I had only like to next day to give him an answer. Oh, well, how soon would you have to be transferred though if you accept the offer? Well, that wouldn't be right away though, but within a couple of weeks, he said at most. Oh, um, well, would you have to live in Trondheim if you do accept the offer? Unfortunately, yes. But it doesn't have to mean that the end between us, though. I mean, like you said, there are only 4 hours between Nottingham and Manhattan. And you can always come up to see me every weekend or so, and I can come back to see you, the same thing. And I'm sure we can figure out how to make it work, though. I mean, we have been together for 3 years, and yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why not that can even work, said Ruby with a smile. Yeah, I mean, I think we can figure out how to make it work. I mean, it's a bit of a long distance, and we won't be able to see each other every single day. But hey, at least this is a great opportunity for you. I mean, you always want to be teaching at a high school, didn't you? Yeah, that's true. I mean, I mean, this is an opportunity, and I mean, if you think I should take the offer, I mean, I don't know, but sweetie, do you know? I mean, this is probably an offer, but is a lifetime offer. I mean, what would the next time do you being offered to be um, as a teacher at high school? Yeah, to have a point there, but I'm still not so sure about that though. I mean, how much do you want to be teaching at the high school? Well, since ever since I finished my studying to be as a teacher, and I mean, I knew that when I was offered to be as a middle school teacher, and I know that was only one step away to maybe to look forward to maybe find an option to be opportunity to be as a teacher at the high school. I mean, you have been given an opportunity, and even there's this is another completely different city, but it doesn't stop us from being together. Like I said, I can always come to see you almost every weekend, and it's like 24 hours away. So I think you should take the offer. I mean, if you don't accept the offer, and eventually someday you may regret it. And who knows? Maybe this might be another opportunity for you that may, in a long run, it might be even more acceptable for you if you say from that way. So yeah, I think I will accept the offer. So, but the next day, when Ferdinand went to his school, he told the principal that he accepted the offer. And the principal smiled and said, I knew I could count on you. And next 3 weeks, both Ferdinand and Ruby were getting a little bit excited and also a little bit nervous now that he is moving out and that he is moving to a whole new town and a whole new school been all for that. But it didn't stop them from being together. And after that, he had moved out and he had moved to Trondheim, started working as a teacher there. Of course, he always came back to her, sometimes in the weekends, like Friday to Sunday, and always spent a lot of time with her. And she did the same thing, vice versa. But after a while, though, she started wondering maybe this long distance maybe not gonna work because it happened that they didn't see each other for maybe a week or two. Well, since he had a lot of tests had to be taken care of, and that, but he was ensuring her that they are still strong. But after about 3 months of this, Ferdinand came back to Manhattan and informed her that when they were at the cafe, that it didn't seem to be working anymore. He has been too much occupied by his work, and it takes a lot of energy from him and a lot of focus, and it seems that he had starting to less and been less in love with her. Even though that she were a little bit heartbroken about it, but she understood. But he said that they could still be friends and always visit each other from time to time if they wanted to. And she accepted it. And so they both agreed to be friends. And after that visit, he went back to Trondheim. A couple of days after the night, when he went back, Ruby went to a cafe back to her work as normal when suddenly, when the door opened and it was her friend Comet Flash. Comet Flash was her oldest friend since ever. Hey Ruby, how you been doing? Oh, hey Comet. Yeah, busy with my work. Comet wasn't aware that she and Ferdinand had just broken up. So, how is Ferdinand? I mean, I've been a while since I've seen him. Yeah, he has actually had a good time back in Trondheim, but we are no longer together. What? What happened? He said, shocked. Well, And she explained, "Oh, well, that's is a good reason. I mean, don't take me wrong though. I mean, you two were really really well together. I mean, I was expecting maybe one day he would pop the question to propose to you, and yeah, I thought maybe some one day that too, you know. But things not always turns out what we wished for. That's true. So, what are so what will you do after now, though? I mean, are you going to looking for someone else you've been dating, or are you going to take a break from dating for a while?" She wasn't sure herself, but she said, "Well, maybe take a break from dating. I mean, I was in a 3 years long term relationship with him, so and I preferred maybe to be single for a bit while, so I have to kind of focus at my work and yeah. But hey, if you want to have maybe to talk or maybe just to spend some time, you know what? You can always rely on me, though. Yeah, I know that, Comet. So, you want to buy something? Oh, yeah. I will take one vanilla ice cream. Thanks. All right, here we go. And after that, they spend some time together. Comet and Ruby spend some time from time to time. Just be at the park or maybe just at his place or her place, just having some conversations, maybe play some games, something like that. So just having a good time for most. But after a year, Ruby felt that she was now felt maybe but she was ready to get out in the dating world again. But she hasn't even been dating for over a year. And she felt a little bit rusty in a dating, but she had no problem to find some stallions to be dating. She went out with a couple of test stallions for maybe 4 or 5 dates. But unfortunately, none of them seemed to be any match or any such connection to her. But she still had a lot of fun with them though. So one day when Ruby were at work, Comet just walked in to see how she has been doing. He was just there to buy some ice cream. Oh, uh, hey Comet, I didn't expect to see you here. Yeah, I was out for a walk and I was in the neighborhood and I was getting hungry for some ice cream. So, how you been doing? Uh, you know, pretty busy with work and yeah, the same. So, I heard from some of my friends that you have been on a date recently. Yeah, and how did it go? You know, like the last one, did it seem to have any connection? Wow. Well, that sucks. Yeah, but you know, sometimes when you don't really know sure if there's gonna be a connection or not, so uh yeah, something like that. I hear you. I hear you quite well. Um, but if you may want to do something, I don't know. I know that maybe this might sound a little bit strange, but how about you and I going on a date? Of course, I understand if you would say no, though. He laughed. Well, to be fair, Comet, I and it was a silent for a moment. I would actually like that. Are you serious? Yeah. Oh, um, what did you mind to have to do on a date? I mean, go to the movies or go to the restaurant? Well, how about we have dinner at my place? Sounds good. Um, when did you have in mind? I mean, today, tomorrow, next week? How about tomorrow around, say, 4 p.m. or 5 p.m.? 5 p.m. sounds more good time for me though. Yeah, let's say that for now. Then he bought, as usual, vanilla ice cream. But during that date, rest of the day, Comet Flash felt so really excited, but also a little bit nervous. He had asked out his oldest friend on a date, and as an official date. and he wasn't sure how to even react to all of that. But he didn't want to back out now since he had asked her out though. But he knew that if he did back out from a date, she'd probably understand, but he is a pony who keeps his promises. So by the next day around 5 p.m., he was standing outside her apartment and she let in, and they actually had well, a good dinner. She made some pasta and they had actually a lot of conversations. And during dinner though, when Comet just out of the blue mentioned, you know, for about a couple of weeks now, I actually had a little bit some thoughts about you and me as being as an official couple. That surprised her a little bit. She just looked at him and she started blushing and like, are you serious? Yeah, I know. I know that's a silly idea. You know, actually, to be fair, Comet, I kind of had the same things myself. And he just looked. Wait, are you for real? She nodded. Yeah, I mean, for a while now, I had been thinking maybe that you and I are maybe are meant to be. Huh. Well, I'm I'm actually willing to give us a try to see if this can work though. I mean, if you're willing to, of course. So after that dinner, they decided to go on their second date on next week. But during that week, they hadn't even told any pony about their first date because they had no idea how their friends would even react. But and eventually, though, as the week came and it was almost over, when they around Saturday when they both actually decided to go to the movies, they had actually a great time. They decided to watch a comedy movie. They laughed so much they could barely breathe afterwards. Afterwards, they talked about the movie and what they thought about it, what the bad moments were, the good moments, what they thought about the characters, and afterwards, when you just stepped out, Comet actually heard a growling sound and looked at Ruby. Oh, sorry about that. I'm getting hungry. You know, there is a small diner not far from here. We can just go there. We have the rest have something to eat. I mean, if you want to. Yeah, I would like that. So they went to this small diner and ordered some food, and there this small talked about the movie, and even though when Comet asked her, so since this is our official second date, I mean, do you feel any difference or it's the same as before? Well, I do feel a bit more stronger feelings for you now, though. I mean, it seems maybe we were meant to be together. I mean, don't take me wrong for that though, Comet. I mean, I had known you for so long, and maybe we were maybe meant to be. But I'm still willing to give us a chance to prove maybe we can work it out. Yeah, same here. And after that, Comet and Ruby, after their first date, they made it as official. It didn't even take long for all their friends has been informed. And surprisingly enough, their friends were actually happy to see them be together. And of course, some of the other older friends they said, "Well, that was not surprising." Comment. I mean, they weren't surprised when you it eventually would end up with her. Wait, you really thought me and her be together? Well, kind actually. I mean, don't take me wrong though, Comet. I mean, you really are a good guy for her. I mean, it's not something I wouldn't consider you would be as a couple. Yeah, that's I can agree though. And afterwards, soon their families were also informed about their be dating, and they were also happy and supportive. But eventually, after they had been dating for maybe about a year, Comet actually moved out from his apartment and moved in with Ruby. And that was not a bad idea. But since they had been dating for just 1 year, but they had known each other for almost their entire life, so they had no problem living together. But one day, when Ruby was out on the street, just out for a walk, when she ran into somebody. Oh, sorry. Oh, Ruby, is that you? Wait, Feather Note? Is that you? Yeah, it's me. What are you doing here? Well, I'm back in town for a couple of days to see my parents, my family, you know. What about you? Yeah, I just out for a walk and it's my day off, so yeah. So how's life been for you? I mean, being as a high school teacher, is it still at the same you had to wait for? Actually, more than that. I actually enjoyed that. I had to thank you for convince me to accept the offer. I mean, like I said, if I hadn't, I would have regretted it all my life. But thanks for that, so no problem. So, anything else have been happening for the past year or so? Um, well, I actually had got just recently got engaged, and wait, you engaged? Well, surprising, I actually did propose to my girlfriend about a few weeks ago. Wow, that's surprising though. Yeah, what about you? Have you found any new pony to be with? Well, yeah, I actually have. Is there someone I know? Well, you know him quite well. Who? Comet Flash? Wait, your best friend? You're dating your best friend? It is a surprise. Yeah, I mean, I like him very much, and please, Ruby, please. I know what you mean. I mean, I can understand why. He hasn't. He has been there for you all the time, and I mean, you know, he is the one you know the oldest. He is your oldest friend. You have know him for the entire life, and you have so much in common. So I don't understand. I don't see no reason why that he would end up with you at all. I mean, I'm happy for you two. I can see that you really are clearly meant to be with each other. So you're not even mad at all? Well, first, why would I even be mad? I'm engaged myself, and you're clearly happy to be with him. I mean, you're glowing. You're really smiling, happy. When you're just just talking about him, it seems every tone of your words are filled with happiness. So why would I be mad? Sure, I admit sometimes miss us being together, but maybe if we were clear not being together. Yeah, it makes sense. So, well, it was nice to see you, Same here. And if I'm back in town, how about you three of us just hang out or just meet up sometimes? For old time's sake. Yeah, I would like that. Even though when Ruby came home, she informed to Comet Flash that she ran into her old boyfriend. He wasn't that surprised, after all, since Federnote has still his parents and other family members living in Manhattan. And it's and he has no much against Ferdinand at all. He's seeing him as a good friend, and they don't have no argues in the past, so they're nothing like that. But sometime later on, though, Comet Flash took Ruby Glow to the park for his spend some time when he actually popped the big question. They had only been at this point been together for nearly 2 years. He was actually ready to ask her. She said yes immediately. When they told their friends and families, they were all overjoyed, even though they had no idea that it even would happen so soon. Comet's parents had said maybe had expected to that type of proposal maybe after 3 or 4 years, but nearly 2 years. But they were happy to. They decided to have a small wedding in Manhattan. Both Comet and Ruby agreed to invite Fedenote and his wife to the wedding as guests. And since Comet Flash and Fedenote still have very good close friendship, and since Ruby and Fedenote still had a close friendship also, and they were actually very open about their to be honest about themselves. And since Fedenote had found his true love himself back in Trottingham with his new wife, so it wouldn't know much any bad feelings. Even though that at first when some of their friends maybe asked, is it wise enough to even invite your old ex-boyfriend and his new wife to your wedding? But both Comet and Ruby has said to their friends and families that they are good friends. They're on good terms. There has never been any bad feelings back from. But because they had actually met Ferdinand and his wife a couple of weeks before the wedding was supposed to be. But they went to Trottingham to see him in person. And of course, they were actually very much happy to be invited. And it turns out Ferdinand's wife was asked to be Ruby's bridesmaid, and even Comet had asked Ferdinand to be his best man, which they both had accepted. This party afterwards and the ceremony was over. It was just amazing. All both families had a great time. And even all the other guests that had invited, so close friends and others, everybody had a good time. Seeing how the new married couple dancing for the first time, it was a magical moment for both. They wouldn't have been more happier to be with the one they loved the most of all in the whole world. For especially Ruby. Ruby couldn't have been happier to be with someone like Comet. They had known each other since they were childs. They were just younger. It wasn't a surprise to their friends that they would even eventually end up being together. And they were right. And now they were standing in front of them, both families and friends, married, dancing together, and clearly, truly happy. They even went to a small wedding honeymoon afterwards to Las Vegas for about a week, and they had a great time there. After being married for 3 years, both Ruby and Comet Flash announced they were expecting their first fall and they were expecting a baby girl. They had even thought upon a name, and then the day came where the daughter was born. They named the daughter Ruby Petunia. Ruby Petunia was like her mother, lovable, and she loved to have spent time with both her parents and especially learning about flying from her father. But it was one of the things that she loved the most, and that was flowers. When she was a little bit younger, a little bit older, around 12, 13, she often helped at a family friend's flower shop in town. And that sparked her interest to be as a work with flowers even more. And of course, when she was a bit older, around 20 years old, she started working at that flower shop at full time. And eventually, only after a couple of years later, the owner, the family friend, retired. But she had a big surprise to Ruby Petunia. She handed over the flower shop to her as a gift. And since the family friend and Ruby Comet Flash had been such good friends, and since the friend treated Ruby Petunia as her own daughter, she thought since she loved so much about flowers and had been so kind to all the customers, and she knows so much about flowers, so she made the right decision to make Ruby Petunia as the new owner of the flower shop. It happened though that the old owner came back from time to time just to see how the business has been going, and she was always proud to have made the right decision because every time she came by, sometimes there was a surprise visit and announced she can not been happy to see how many customers she had, and even though she had hired some new assistants to maybe help around, but the business were really blooming. And eventually, at some point, Ruby Petunia actually fell in love with a doctor in town. Actually got married after being dating for about 4 years. They eventually had 2 daughters and one son together. The relationship between Ruby Glow and Comet Flash was clearly an unbreakable bond. They clearly loved each other more than anything in the whole world. Even after all this, Comet was actually happy that he did ask her out all those years ago. He realized if he hadn't even asked her out, he may not even have found his true love. And even Ruby at one point has stated to him that if he hadn't even asked out, she may not have even have the courage to even admit her feelings for herself. And for that, both Ruby and Comet are really happy that they both admitted they had feelings for each other and that they made the right decision. Otherwise, they would have missed out their true soulmate, their true love of all the whole world. And this is how Ruby Glow and Comet Flash, for the true love, got found together. The end.